Dr. Steigen. Study hard, learn healthy.
Hi there, Shlomo Ben Zev here, and I'd like to speak to you about the standard. Today we're going to be dealing with issues with the page holders. The standard comes equipped with page holders. The page holders are there obviously to hold your pages, and therefore I'd like to show you some versatility about them and give you some idea of how they can be used. Now, the standard is designed to hold books of many sizes. Being that is the case, so I'd like to demonstrate exactly how that works. I've taken a number of books here, different sizes, and I'd like to show you how to use the standard together with the books. Now, in general, as you can see on the bottom, the page holders are designed to be swivelable. You can move them right and left. You can turn them, you can move them out of the way if you need, and that is going to help you to choose how to use them with the book size that you're going to be using. So let's say you would like to use it with a small book. I have a small book over here, and I'd like to use it with this book in order to read a novel. So I put my book down in the middle. I'm going to use the page holders to hold the book. Now, obviously this is a small book, and therefore if I leave the page holders in an upright position, it's not going to be able to hold the book or hold it well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swivel it on the bottom. I'm going to swivel it to the side, and that way the page holder is holding it at an angle instead of holding it directly, and that way it holds even a small book. If I want to turn pages while it's holding a small book, the way I've discovered that's best to do this is to simply do as follows. Slide. You can pick the page holder up slightly with your finger and slide the page out of the way and slide it underneath the next page. Right, and this works pretty easily. You can do it as many times as you need, and that makes the reading pretty swift, right? Again, you need a little bit of friction, which you create by simplest way possible, picking your finger. After you're finished with your page, turn the page, and then have it hold it down again. Now, if you're using a wider book, and you'd like to use it in order to hold the book open, so let's take the bigger book that I have. I mean, I don't think I need to show all the books, but this is obviously a very wide book, and I would like to hold it and open it up. So again, the easiest way is to move these out of the way, so that it's easy to put down the book. Once the book is sitting, you then flip it back into place, and it will hold your book. Now, if you, for whatever reason, you feel that you need to have them a wider hold, so it's possible, once the page holders are open, to turn 180 degrees the plastic part on the bottom, and then it will hold it at a wider place than it was holding it before. Right? So how possible to do it on both sides? Again, I'm going to swivel the page holder all the way to the side, right, 180 degrees, and then I flip it back up and it will hold the book in a much wider hold. Okay, so that's how you use the page holders with books of various sizes and various, and how to flip the pages. Again, here the process is the same. If you want to change the page, I mean, obviously because the book is here, open it a little bit, slide it to the next page, and slide the next page underneath the page holder. That's the way it works. You can do this whether you're sitting or whether you're standing. It works perfectly fine. Okay, now let's speak some troubleshooting. There are times that I've discovered that there are problems with the page holders. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Now, in general, the page holders, because they're plastic, I can't guarantee them more than 30 days. Therefore, if there's a problem with the plastic parts after that I can't guarantee. However, I have been using the page holders on my standard for 2 years now, and they're still working fine. They can be bent. The metal is metal after all, and it's bendable, but usually that doesn't prevent you from using them and even using them well. Okay, as I said before, there are two problems that I've discovered that sometimes need a fix. Sometimes, as you can see over here, the plastic part, which is attached to the aluminum, is connected too tightly, and therefore it's nearly impossible to move them. If that's the case, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take off the wooden part of the stand, and we're going to loosen the tightness of the screw that's holding this in place. Now the way we're going to do that is we're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and these are hex screws, and then we're going to be able to change the tightness of the page holder itself. You can make it tighter, you can make it looser. Right? If it's too loose, you want to make it tighter. If it's too tight, you want to make it looser. It's possible to do that once you've removed those screws, and you have then you have access to the screw that's holding these into place. Okay, once you've removed all of the screws, now the board separates, and it's possible to get to the page holders. Here's the page holders. Depending on whether the page holders are too tight or too loose is going to define how you're going to do things. If it's too tight, you're going to want to loosen it, which would mean that you're going to turn this in a counterclockwise direction, like so. Once you've turned it even a small amount, then the page holder should already be a lot looser. I mean, obviously I'm holding the phone in order to allow for a video, but once you've loosened it a little bit, it should already have an effect on the turnability of the page holder. Okay, here I've loosened the page holder, and therefore it now easily turns right and left. For some people that might be a little too easy. For me, that's perfectly fine. I prefer that it be easy to move and not too tight. If it's too loose, then obviously the next step is to tighten it. You're going to turn it clockwise, which is going to be in this direction. Obviously, because I'm holding onto the camera in order to demonstrate here. So you see the page turner is turning. Obviously, you do this with one hand holding the page holder, and the other hand turning slightly the screwdriver, and that will allow you to adjust it perfectly. Okay, another possible problem that you can have, I've had it myself on a number of occasions, usually with a new stander, sometimes the plastic itself is rather difficult. As you can see, bring it closer, as you can see, the plastic part is made of two parts. There's the base, which swivels, and then there is the connector for the page turner itself. Now, I have had editions where this is stuck for some reason, and it's very hard to manipulate. And if you're going to try and bend it using the metal, you'll just bend the metal. So what do you do under the circumstances? So I've discovered that if you take a simple wrench, preferably one like this where you can adjust the size of the grip, that way you can make it a little bit more precise, and a towel. What you're going to do is you're going to put the towel over the circular part, and then to protect it so that it doesn't get scratched, and then you grab it using the wrench. You're going to grab it. Right? If it's not tight enough, you can tighten it, and you're going to manipulate. You're going to manipulate this to open it. What usually happens is that the reason for the tightness is if there is a plastic pieces on the inside have bonded together, and that makes it difficult. So what you're going to do is, as you can see, once I've gripped it with as you can see, once I've gripped it with the towel, so now when I manipulate it, it turns the page holder. That should be enough. Once you do that one or two turns, it should be enough in order to separate the plastic parts that were being problematic, and then it should easily turn open and closed. Okay, so that's all about the page holders for today. Obviously, if there's any questions or any comments, I'd love to get them in the comments below. And otherwise, like and subscribe, and we'll have more videos about how to properly use the Dr. Steigen, the Standard 1.0. Thank you very much.